Okay, I'm going to my parents for the night.
Alright, baby. Have a good time.
What are you going to do tonight while I'm gone?
I'm just gonna hang out here all night, play some games, and drink a beer.
Alright, Michael. Remember what happened the last time you drank?
I know, but I promise you, it's only gonna be one. I'm gonna stay under control tonight.
Alright, one beer. Have fun. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Alright, baby. See you tomorrow morning. I love you. That's tasty. Oh yeah! And yes, I'm all lit up again. Cup of love and touch on. Your mama said it back the line to stay on. And yes, I'm all lit up again. On the couch, in my bed. And yes, I'm all lit up again. Oh, my head. Oh, God, no. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of my game pickups from the new Adventure Island. Got a lot of really cool stuff to show you. I've got about 12 or 13 games to show you on 4 different systems. I'm going to try to get through it pretty quick because I had a rough night last night. Just hope I didn't do anything stupid.
Baby, you got a butt that just won't stop. Did I ever tell you that Xbox 360 is awesome? I loves you.
First up is a game from my beloved TurboGrafx-16. Anybody who collects for the TurboGrafx-16 knows that it's extremely hard to find games for it nowadays, especially so living here in Newfoundland. But I was lucky enough to come across one game I needed. I'm just over the halfway point, I think, of my TurboGrafx-16 collection. I managed to pick up Tiger Road. Tiger Road is a really weird action platformer. You start out as this monk and it's really well drawn and looks good. You're playing along and it plays pretty well. You've got a choice of 3 primary weapons and it's fun. Then you get to this weird flying stage where you're flying all over the place. This game is hard, relentless, unforgiving, but overall it's fun, it's quirky, and it's a TurboGrafx-16 game. That's what I like so much about the TurboGrafx-16. All the games are fun and quirky and different. Next up, we move to a game that was actually a gift from a reseller here at the flea market named Justin Rousel. He was a really nice guy. Bought a bunch of stuff off him, which you're going to see later on in this video. But first off is a game for the Sega Genesis that he gave me completely free of charge because I wanted it and bought some other stuff from him. So thanks, Justin. Anyways, I picked up Flashback on the Sega Genesis. Well, I'd like to tell you a lot about Flashback, but unfortunately I can't get anywhere in this game. I'm going to be honest with you, the first time I've ever played it was to record footage for this game, and I found it extremely frustrating. Like, I had no clue where I was going. This is definitely a game you want to have a guide next to you, but it is very cool at the same time. It has its in-game cutscenes that look really good. So I'm interested to play this a little bit more. I don't know if it's a game I'm going to be in love with, but it's certainly very interesting for its time. Next, we move on to some games for the Sega Master System, which, like I mentioned last time, is a system I love, but I hardly ever see any games for it, so when I do, I pick them up. First up is a racing game that I think is an arcade port, Outrun. Well, what can I say about Outrun? So far, Outrun's pretty fun. Graphically, it's okay for the Master System, but it doesn't seem to do a whole lot. In the race that I played while recording footage on this, I think I only passed one car, and I timed out very quickly. But otherwise, it was fun, easy to control, and I think I'll play a lot more of it. Next up is a game that I was very excited about until I started playing, and I realized because of my setup, I'm probably never going to be able to play this game. Rambo 3. Well, exactly what the problem is specifically with Rambo 3 is the fact that I can't get this to work. I put it in and I just had the gamepad, assuming that it was kind of like, what's the game on the Neo Geo? Nom, where the cursor would move around, or even like the shooting stages in Vice Project Doom. But as I pressed the button, I realized there was no cursor and it just made the screen go gray, and I got killed very, very quickly. So then, of course, I went out and I got my light phaser, and I started the process again. And it made absolutely no difference. So I'm not sure if my light phaser's broken, or it just doesn't work because I have a flat screen TV. A flat screen too, but still it's flat screen. So, unfortunately, I can't tell you guys a lot about Rambo 3, other than it has a really cool opening scene. Next up is a game I am actually pretty excited about playing. It looks like a fun action platformer. Captain Silver. Well, with a name like Captain Silver, you automatically assume it's going to be a pirate game, and it is, but you actually start out, the first levels in this town where you walk around. The controls are a little wonky. Graphically, it's okay looking. I don't know if I love Captain Silver. Would I say it's one of the best must-have Master System games? No, certainly not, but the little bit I've played, it's a fun, quirky game, and if you can see it for about $5, definitely pick it up. Last up is a game I'm actually really excited about having on the Master System, and actually this is the first version of this game I think I actually have. I think I've got the sequel on the Sega Genesis, but I managed to find a copy of Space Harrier. Space Harrier is the beginning of on-rails platform shooters. It is extremely fun, and going back to the Master System days, this was just beautiful to see on screen. I mean, the checkerboard walkway going up, the enemies coming at you, very cool and a very fun game. One I'm not very good at yet, but one I'm going to put a lot more time into. Next up is a game for the Nintendo GameCube that I've been looking for an extremely long time. I remember when this first came out, and I was, at the time, not a shooter fan at all, so I saw it and I said, wow, that game looks dreadful. It looks like I would have no fun. But as you guys know, as I got my TurboGrafx 16, I really got into shoot-em-ups. So of course, I found out that this was one of the best of all time, and an extremely hard bullet hell shooter, I think they're called. Anyways, I really wanted to try this out, so I was so excited to finally find a copy. Ikaruga. Yeah, Ikaruga is a bullet hell shooter. For anybody that has never ever played this game before or doesn't know anything about it, you look at the screen and it looks like there's projectiles coming from everywhere. It looks impossible. But this game actually implies this really weird dark and light mechanic where you can change your ship from dark to light. When you're light, you avoid the enemy fire that's light. When you're dark, you avoid the enemy fire that's dark. It creates this really cool concept that gets you to switch back and forth in your normal shooter. One I really enjoy, and I get destroyed in this game, but I keep coming back for more. Well, we might as well keep the shmup train rolling as we move on to Super Nintendo. It's another game I got from Justin in that lot where I picked up all the Sega Master System games, and he gave me Flashback. But I also got a boxed Super Nintendo shmup, one I was excited to get and a really good price. Raiden Triad. I've been looking for Raiden on the TurboGrafx 16 for an extremely long time. I've never ever played one of the Raiden games, but I've heard that version is incredible. So of course I saw Raiden Triad for the Super Nintendo, and I absolutely had to try it. So I played it, and you know what? It's pretty fun. Isn't it an amazing game and one of the best shmups on the system and with the best music? No, but it is pretty good, and it was cool to get it at a really good price with the box, manual, everything included. And now this is a game that's going to absolutely blow a couple of your guys' minds, and I'm so excited about it because I guess it's more of a common game, but this is an arcade-style game that when it came to the home consoles, I used to rent this all the time, and I loved it. There's not much to it, but for what it is, it's extremely fun. Hit the Ice. Like I told you guys, there's not a lot to this. This is basically the hockey equivalent of NBA Jam with all the cliches of hockey, the fights, the crazy shots. It's just fun. If you're a hockey fan and you want something a little less simulation style than the NHL games, Hit the Ice is a great 2-on-2 arcade romp that you'll really enjoy. Next up is a game I was extremely excited to find, and I've played it and I can't wait to get good at it. I emphasize get good at it because when I started playing I have no idea what I'm doing and I find it extremely hard, but it's got this really cool look and feel to it, this kind of weird steampunk mystery, and I'm excited to play in this world, and that's Shadowrun. Well, right from the beginning, when you start playing Shadowrun, it is just so cool. They're putting a dead body in the morgue, and all of a sudden you pop out, and the body in the morgue is your playable character. You find out you've been beat up by some punks. So the minute you get out, you start walking around, and it's this cool top-down view. You also find out that it implies point-and-click type elements. You get out of the morgue, and the guys run away. Then you get to explore this massive cityscape. But this is where, as far as I got, because I don't have a gun, and then people started shooting me, and I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of ran away from them, and then I died. So I'm interested to learn how to play this and find out where my weapons are and what I've got to do, because it looks like it's a really interesting story, and I've heard so many good things about Shadowrun that I want to enjoy it. Next up is a Super Nintendo RPG that I didn't have. I pretty much have all the Super Nintendo RPGs now, I think. This one proves that I didn't have them all. The Seventh Saga. So I didn't have all the Super Nintendo RPGs. I don't know if I'm really missing much by not having the Seventh Saga now that I have it. Well, it's something that I have. Even though it seems to be a later release on the Super Nintendo, it seems like an earlier release. Like, there's nothing special graphically. The only thing I really like is, as you transition from the world map to the battle, it uses this Mode 7 dynamic that's kind of cool. But otherwise, the fighting's pretty straightforward. It uses a lot of really old, like, Dragon Warrior type RPG elements, where you have to search, and there's a command screen right on there. That's not something I necessarily love, but hey, it's not going to turn me away. So when I dwindle down the list of RPGs I have to finish now, maybe I'll give Seventh Saga another look. Last but not least, the coup de grace of my game pickups from the New Adventure Island this time around is a game that I didn't know if I'd ever own, because I already have a copy of it in another format, in a compilation disc. So I didn't know if it's something I necessarily wanted, but a little while ago I did an episode of Video Game Nostalgia on your favorite Mega Man game. And actually, I got this when I did that episode. I was playing through all the Mega Man games, and I was posting as I finished each one on Facebook. And the seller, again I mentioned, Justin Rousel, saw that on Facebook, and he decided, hey, you know what? I know you're going through these now, so I'm going to hook you up, and I'm going to sell you Mega Man 7. What can I say? Mega Man 7 is a fantastic game. If you like the Mega Man games, you're going to love Mega Man 7. The only thing I really have to say is, it definitely has a different feel to it. It's still Mega Man, it still uses all the same Mega Man dynamics, but it does have more of an X feel to it. So if you're looking for the, really easy run and gun jumping mechanics that were in the original Mega Mans, you're not going to get them here. The jumps are a little bit harder to make, doesn't seem like he has as much distance, just doesn't seem to maneuver as well, but that's because they're trying to make it, I guess, more realistic and more like X. Other than that small problem, this is still a fantastic game and does everything that a Mega Man game should do well. So otherwise, this is a fantastic game with updated graphics, updated music, and some cool nods to the past. Mega Man 7 is a fantastic game. So guys, that's everything I picked up this time. I added another game to my ever-growing TurboGrafx-16 collection, just over the halfway point. I got some great games for the Super Nintendo, and of course Mega Man 7, and I bolstered my Sega Master System collection. Not too bad if you ask me. Anyways guys, I got a lot of stuff now I gotta play, and a lot of stuff to get into, so I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Michael B. the Game Genie. I'll talk to you next time. Hey everybody, Michael B. the Game Genie here with a quick collecting tip. This time around, my tip delves into finances, and specifically, budgeting. It's important to set a budget for what you want to spend on your retro game collection. It's so easy to jump at the first opportunity. Someone posts something up, something you've been looking for a while, like a copy of Shining Force 3 for the Sega Saturn, and you say, oh, that game's crazy, I'm going to go spend $100. But then you realize, hey, I just spent $100 and I don't have enough to pay for my phone bill now. I really shouldn't have done that. That's why it's important to stick to a budget every month. basically at how much you want to spend as a collector month to month and how much you can afford. Some people can afford more, some people can afford less, and really try to stay within those boundaries. You'll find yourself actually turn down a lot of really bad deals and really scourging a little bit harder to find the game you actually want to find. So really, when you stick to that budget, not only do you spend more money than you have, you also find yourself being a little bit more selective with the games you pick up and how much you're going to pay for them. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed my tip.